Give yourself permission to do something strange. And the strange thing is sitting still and giving your undivided attention to your breathing. That is very abnormal, and you have to be honest to yourself about that abnormality. With each breath that takes place, give it a respect, give it a curiosity, give it an interest that you would to somebody who you want to have favor with. Give it the same kind of interest that you would to a person that you really, really, really wanted to get to know. Have that same level of enthusiasm, or rather search for it at the very least. Think of reasons as to why you should have that level of enthusiasm. Or, ideally, don't think at all. Ideally, just focus on your breath and all of the mundaneness, the simplicity, the lack of extravagance that comes along with it. Just give it your attention. In my experience, it's not even about some kind of mental game that takes place that makes you feel refreshed and stronger, and all the benefits that come with breathing. They're very real, is my point. It's not in your head. The benefits from focusing on your breath, from creating different, more powerful patterns of breathing. The amplification is actually pretty ridiculous and unreal. It's so simple, and it has such benefits, but I even still find it hard to engage in, because it's fundamentally boring. Fundamentally boring relative to everything else on offer to us. It doesn't matter that it's so super duper beneficial. We're prisoners of excitement. We're prisoners of excitement. Yeah. Those of us who are Americans especially, we are definitely prisoners. Americans are, that is seriously a problem of ours. Excitement junkies. Try this. Breathe out. Now when you breathe in, breathe extremely slowly through your nostrils. Extremely slow. So slow that it feels like a struggle. It feels hard. Search for the difficult slowness and then engage in that. I look at the camera because I'm even interested in seeing what's going on. I'm still not, I've been experiencing these kind of bodily reactions now for the past 2 or 3 years. And I'm still not used to it. I want to see what's going on. Like when this vacuuming happens and all that good stuff, and the pops, I'm interested in looking at it because when I watch it, it doesn't look how it feels all the time. Sometimes it actually looks more drastic than it feels, and sometimes it feels way more drastic than it looks. And it's just a curious, interesting little thing. All the snap, crackles, and pops that go on. You ready for a flex? Let me just flex, okay? Just. Oh, what are we doing again? Okay, breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. I'm fighting everything in me right now to not really go hard on that song. Just breathe. The question is whether or not I keep this in. Fuck it. Sociopathic authenticity. And that's maybe I should define that for some people, by the way. The sociopathic, I put in quotes. I put in quotes because obviously implicit in the definition of a real sociopath is destructive behavior. But ultimately, it's behavior that's socially pathological. And my point, though, is that a lot of what we consider to be socially pathological, bad, not even unhealthy, that's not how we look at it, but just these social faux pas, things that are incompatible with norms and that we judge so harshly. I'm saying I'm being sociopathic towards that, towards these bullshit standards and norms. I have nothing, I'm all for a kind of the kind of politeness and respect and civility that I yearn for resembles like people living in a fucking small village somewhere in other countries. That kind of kindness and compassion and togetherness without being, that's the most practical kumbaya version of something that I could think of a civilization. Just being very respectful, civil, and reasonable, but let's take it up a notch. But we don't have to be in the dark on things. We can be honest about a lot of the bad stuff and be contributors in intellectual ways and not just stand by while quite frankly, the elite, whoever the fuck is at the top, continues to make the decisions that they make, and we just accept it all as gospel, or we just can't think for ourselves. Like, shit, man. I think we can do our part in a very small way. By being the best versions of ourselves. I feel like, I suppose I believe in the butterfly effect of it all. I truly do. That we affect change. And just we affect each other's lives way more than we realize. And I just know that I pay attention to these moments in my recent life where a person's mindfulness, a person's consideration, their politeness, their healthiness, their vulnerability, their authenticity, when these things have impacted me in such a positive way at times that I really needed it as well, and that even though, or I really even wanted it, and I was just like, where is it? And then you get it, and it's so helpful, it's so beneficial, it just feels so healthy, and it's also real. It's real when you recognize the reasons to do it, that they all just make sense. It's a sensible thing, all things considered. But it's so much to be considered. That's why it's deserving of constant conversations. There's so much to be considered. That's why it's deserving of constant reminders. There's just so much to be considered. We want a streamlined oversimplification. Hey, love your neighbor as yourself. I ain't mad at that. The golden rule, I'm not mad at that. But we got to break it down. We're smarter. The thing is, we're smarter than that. But we're stupid because we don't recognize that. It's ironic because we don't recognize that we are smarter than that, which makes us stupider than we should be. But we have this potential to be that we're not accessing because it's just mentally lazy, quite frankly. The same way that we're physically lazy. And it's all understandable. It's all very, 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 very understandable. Ultimately, I say that. That's what, but still, I'm idealistic. Still, I care. I gotta, hey, shit, why not? All I know is anybody that, like, whether it's a housekeeper in a hotel that says I want to be the best, I want to do the best job I can, or whether it's a physicist saying that I want to do the best job I can at communicating science to the average person or whatever, whether it's just whoever, man, I appreciate people and I appreciate all those who put their everything into whatever you do to benefit other people, even if it's foundationally some selfish reason. That fine, as long as we're benefiting each other, let's benefit each other in more wholesome ways, because that's the more stable, functional way. Rant. That was stream of consciousness rant. I wonder if I'll keep everything in here. That's what I really want to do. Let's see how that goes. Okay, I'll stop talking now. Good morning, everybody.